It seems Labour is on a mission to outdo itself, almost on a daily basis. We'll hear a development from the party that truly shocks us, and as you're trying to grasp it, they've already managed to be even worse, and I'm actually struggling to keep up with it. So, yesterday I covered a story where Braverman wrote in the Telegraph calling on the government to scrap the two-child benefit cap. Obviously, many were stunned that not only was Braverman, who was incredibly right-wing, calling for the policy to be scrapped, but she actually outflanked Labour to the left since they U-turned on scrapping the policy. Well, Wes Streeting has weighed in, and my God, I am almost lost for words at how absolutely revolting his answer was when asked about Braverman's comments. Wes Streeting has defended his party's policy not to scrap the cap on child benefit for just 2 children in each household. Mr. Streeting was speaking to The Independent for a wider interview about his autobiographical book, One Boy, Two Bills and a Fry-Up, in which he graphically describes growing up in poverty on East London council estates and how benefits allowed him and his mother to eat and put a coin in the electricity meter. But when The Independent asked him about Labour's U-turn on scrapping the 2-child benefit cap, he insisted that dealing with child poverty was more than just about handouts. He said, "I think that the answer on child poverty is all about social security. Of course, that's part of it. I grew up in a council estate with a single mum, and often the benefit system put food in the fridge and money in the electric meter. I am a product of a welfare state that quite literally fed me and housed me and clothed me at points in my life." However, he went on, "I also know that the answer to child poverty ultimately is not simply about handouts. It's about a social security safety net that also acts as a springboard that helps people into work, and with good work, that makes the cost of living affordable for everyone." Now, he then goes on to talk about the state of the finances and not being able to afford it, even though Labour supports cutting taxes, which include the rich. I mean, the party has its priorities absolutely backwards. And yes, I'm sure Braverman's comments weren't sincere, but that's besides the point. It's the reaction from Streeting. I mean, how incredibly awful is that response by saying, "Oh, well, it's more than handouts." Astonishing. If those names were redacted in that article, you think that Braverman was the Labour MP and Streeting was the Tory. I mean, this has been the literal Conservative framing of benefits. Oh, it's just state handouts. People need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Yet it's being deployed by Streeting. What makes this so disgusting is that in the same interview where he's promoting his book, talking about his upbringing where his family struggled, and when Braverman's comments were put to him, he responded by saying that he was a product of the welfare state and how it put food on the table. He's basically saying, "I know what it's like growing up in a struggling household. I know how benefits have literally kept me alive, but now I'm all right. Screw those struggling families now." He should have said, "My experiences have shown me the need for a strong and expansive welfare state where, yes, it doesn't eradicate poverty, but it ensures that no one slips through the nets where they end up in destitution." Now, interestingly, I googled how many siblings Streeting has, and funny enough, he has 7. His family quite possibly benefited from not having a benefit cap, yet he is now saying that there should be a cap on 2 children. He's admitting here that he'll pull the ladder up behind him, which is so unbelievably gross. Streeting is honestly human garbage, a grotesque poor excuse of a human, and I'm sorry for these personal attacks, but sometimes it's needed. Only a psychopath can turn around after acknowledging that welfare has been a lifesaver to then not want the same for others today. It's absolutely sick, and he should be nowhere near the Labour Party. Now, I've come across those who've been opposed to the last Labour leadership who've said that, well, when the left attacks Labour, they're doing it from a place of privilege. You know, they can live under a Tory government whilst many people can't, and they throw their toys at the pram when they don't get their perfect Labour Party. Obviously, that's a load of rubbish. Not wanting Labour to be exactly the same as the Tories isn't purist politics. And there were many working class people, including me, who supported the last leader. So how do you square that circle now? I mean, this is the Shadow Health Secretary telling the very poorest that not only will we keep this horrific policy, but also maybe you should skill your way out of poverty. It's a myth that Labour, for all its compromising, will always be better than the Tories, especially those living in poverty. I mean, Blair was the one who introduced the benefit scrounger narrative, whereas government also clamped down on benefits. Streeting is showing that when the right of the party controls Labour, no one is safe, and potentially everyone will lose. I mean, apart from big business. If you have any moral compass about you, You can't defend this. And you can't defend the Labour Party. Now, I think it's a good time to talk about Leah Mohammed. So if you don't know who she is, she's standing in Wes Streeting's seat in the next election. She's been campaigning in support of the Palestinian people. And I think we should be supporting independent campaigns to unseat the very worst in our politics. And Wes Streeting certainly is the very worst. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and drop a comment. It's good for the algorithm and I'm interested in what you have to say. If you're not already subscribed, please do and hit the notification bell. You can also support this channel by becoming a member for 99p per month. And if you're feeling a little more generous, then you can support us on Patreon for £3 or £5 per month. This channel for a while has been uploading every single day, and it's quite a lot of work that is still voluntary and scheduled around my paid work. But I have so much ambition, expect in the future to see more variety in content, such as interviews and Vox Pops. But I want this to be a fully fledged media organisation where not only is this my full-time job, but to have multiple people working for Turn Left. I like to see a live show in the future, more content that delves into culture, history, and much more. But that can only be done if there's money. So please, if you can, support us in any way that's in your capacity. And thank you to existing members, subscribers, and patrons. See you next time.